Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today for the NC State Prague information session. We are recording this and we will post the full session on our website and our YouTube channel so that you can reference the information shared here at a later time and watch again. We're going to cover all sorts of information with you today, focused on our programs that are offered year-round at the NC State European Center in Prague. But first, we'll go ahead and introduce everybody. My name is Megan Winsler, and I'm the Associate Director for NC State Prague. I'm sitting here in my home office in Raleigh, North Carolina. And then the rest of the team they're going to introduce themselves. They're sitting in the office at NC State Prague.
Hi, I'm Kim Strzezuski. I look different than that picture because, COVID hair, no hairdressers open. So I'm the director here in Prague. I've been with NC State a year and a half in the position of director, but in Prague for 15 years. So I'm well acquainted with study abroad in Prague.
Hello there, my name is Eva Kavalova. I'm the Student Affairs and Program Coordinator here in Prague. I work with NC State for over a year now. And again, a little change of hairstyles here as well.
Okay, hi, I'm Anel. I'm doing the communication, social media, website, everything. And I've been working for NC State and for the unit here in Prague for over 10 years.
Hi, my name is Anna Tlevichova. I work here for 3 years. I work part-time, but I study business administration at the same time. And my job duties include faculty-led programs and the short-term special programs. So if you're interested in engineering or MEC programs, I'm going to be your point of contact.
Great. And then we have 4 amazing students who are current NC State students who have participated in our programs in the past. And I'm going to ask you all to introduce yourselves, and then you're going to hear from them throughout the session today. So Natasha, you're first here. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, sure. So hi, my name is Natasha, and I am a senior studying graphic design, and I did NC State Prague last spring.
Okay, Kaylin?
Hi, I'm Kaylin. I am a senior in animal science, and I was also at Prague this past spring until COVID hit.
Okay, Allie, go ahead.
So I'm Allie. I am a communication major. I did Prague, I'm a second year, and I did Prague my freshman year fall semester.
And hi, my name is Andrew. I am a senior in graphic design, and I also was in Prague during the spring semester of this year.
Great, thank you everybody, and we thank them for being here, and we're going to ask them to share their experiences on all sorts of things, from housing to the cultural events and the classes that they took, so you'll learn a lot more about the program directly from them. Okay, I'm sure most of you by now have heard of NC State Prague. We have a very, very long history in Prague, and the university has been sending students there since about 2005. And then as of 2017, we moved from being a college level center operated from the College of Design to a university-wide center. So now we operate as a unit of the university's Office of Global Engagement. And Prague is the only permanent overseas facility that the university has. So it's a really, really special and unique place. The photos that you're looking at here, this is all our center. And so that the yellow building with the red flag that you can see in the top picture, that is our building. NC State rents 3 floors on that building. And so we're our team who just introduced themselves a while ago, that's where they're sitting. So they're inside that building right now. And then the other buildings or the other photos underneath here, you can see our amazing courtyard that's kind of right in the middle, where if you end up going to Prague, you can study or hang out or eat your meals there. And then we have a really beautiful historic building that was constructed in about the 1300s, I think. You'll learn all about the history if you go there. And there's a classroom where you can see some really beautiful pictures right in the center of Prague. And then we also have an amazing kitchen. So you'll have access to cooking classes, or if you just want to pack your lunch or cook dinner there together with your other classmates, we have some really, really beautiful spaces for you to be able to do that. And NC State Prague, as you can see, it's right in the historical heart of Prague. So I know you're probably learning about Prague, but if you've ever been there, it's right around the corner from the astronomical clock in Old Town Square, which is really the heart and the tourism capital of the city. So it's a fantastic location, and you get to walk through these beautiful historic buildings and sites on your way to classes every single day. So today we are going to focus on our classic program. This is kind of our traditional program where we offer programs every fall, spring, and summer. We do have some other, I would say, off-model programs, such as an internship program that is brand new, that's going to be launched this summer. And we also have a global leadership minor, which is more of a nomadic program that starts and ends in Prague, but also has modules in Germany and London. And so there's a link at the bottom of this slide that has a complete list of our programs. And if you visit that website, you'll be able to see all of the programs that we offer and kind of drill down on the details of those a little bit more. But today we're going to focus on our classic programs. So you can see here at the chart at the top, if you choose to go either in the fall or the spring, those are full semester long programs, which means that you'll take at least 12 credit hours of courses. So you do have to be enrolled full time. Those are all NC State credits. And it's a minimum of 12 weeks. The programs now we are able to get our students visas. So the length of the semester pretty much mirrors the academic calendar that you see on campus. So we are more in about 15 or 16 weeks now. And then you can see the program fee there for a full semester. And we'll talk more about the program fee later. And the summer is, I say at least 5 credit hours, because we do have an E101 course that's 2 credit hours. But usually students in the summer are there for 6 weeks and they take about 6 credit hours or 2 classes. We do pre-departure orientation for you, and then once you arrive in Prague, you also experience on-site orientation, where we teach you how to use the public transit and take you on a tour of Prague so that you kind of get your bearings and learn how to navigate the city in general. And we also include a number of excursion and cultural enrichment activities, both in Prague, that they might be an opera or some other kind of arts or cultural event that's happening at the time, or even day trips and weekend excursions, which you'll hear more about later. The other great thing about our programs is that we have on-site staff there. So as you met everybody earlier, we have a student affairs professional, we have a communications person, our director. You have a wonderful team of NC State staff members that are local, that live there, they speak the language, and they are there really to help you and make your experience a great one. That being said, we're really, really lucky to have an amazing group of faculty that teach our NC State courses. I really think that our faculty is one of the biggest assets of our program, and hopefully the students will kind of speak to the quality of the classes that we're offering in Prague. But we have a really, really amazing group of faculty who are also local, and they speak the language, and they really pride themselves on not only teaching you the content, but using the context of the city and Prague to really inform the material and bring some different perspectives into what you're learning. And we also have small class sizes in Prague. And in light of COVID and all the precautions, they're even smaller than they are normally. So we are sending a group of students next semester, and we are adhering to social distancing, and we're having small class sizes. And we're lucky that we're able to do that in Prague. Okay, the classes. We have a number of classes that fulfill general education requirements. And you can go to our website, to the course catalog, and this is a really good and comprehensive directory of all the classes that we offer in Prague, and you can search by semester. We offer pretty much the same group of general education courses every fall, spring, and summer. But there are a few differences. And so if you're looking for some specific classes, the best thing to do is to go to the course catalog and see which semester that they're offered. And we always recommend that you refer to this course catalog when you're talking to your academic advisor, so that you can make sure you can build Prague into your degree audit in your academic program. With that, I'm going to turn it over to, I think Eva has prepared somebody, to Ali, okay, to talk about your experience with the classes.
Yeah, like as we said, we would like our student alumni to share their experience with it. So with this, yeah, please, Ali, if you can maybe add something about like your experience with the classes.
Yeah, so I took European politics, sociology. I took astronomy and Czech language and culture. And astronomy and Czech language and culture were probably my favorites. Every single class that I took, they very much incorporated like where you were at and like taught it based around the city. So it was super helpful. And every professor that I had they prioritized like understanding and like actually learning the content over like memorization. And we all had like personal relationships with our teachers. I think every one of my teachers I felt super comfortable reaching out to after my program. Even got some recommendations from some of them. But the classes were like amazing. Probably I learned more in some of the classes abroad than I learned here because of the dedication the teachers put into each class and like actually making sure we understood it. Our homework load was not too bad. It was based around like every class that we had. So we would go in and then we'd have a day break to do homework for that class and then a different class on that day and then a day break. It worked out really well. And I thought they had a really good program on behalf of the classes and coursework and stuff.
Thank you so much for sharing it. And now I would like to ask Galen, as she came in a different semester, and every semester we offer a little different classes.
Okay, so I also took Czech language and culture and sociology, as well as humans in the environment and philosophy. And I really loved all of those classes. The Czech culture and language professor has my heart. I love her so much. I would highly, highly, highly recommend taking that class. It helps you definitely get used to the culture, and it really enhanced my experience in Prague. But I did really love, like in sociology, we would go to different museums. And really incorporate like going out into Prague and really enjoying Prague into the course. I was supposed to go on an excursion with my humans in the environment class, which I'm sure would have been awesome, but COVID. So that was a little sad, but the classes were absolutely amazing. And they were just very like interactive. The professors, like you can tell they just genuinely care and they like genuinely want to be there and they just love their job so much. So it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much as well, Kaylin. And if anybody else has something to say about the classes, now is the time because we will move for the next part of the program.
Oh yeah, so one more thing to add to my class load. So I took the astronomy class and it was one of the coolest classes ever because we had it with lab and so it fulfilled one of my GEP requirements. But we got to go to like the observatories in Prague, which are like super fancy and like it was just really, really cool. Like some of the stuff we got to do that was just kind of casual for them is like stuff you could never do in America. I mean, maybe in America, but it was really cool. And our professor, he was on the Astronomical Union and he like helped make the decision to make Pluto not a planet. He voted for it to be a planet, but yeah, it was very cool.
Thank you so much. It really sounds that learning is so much fun in here in Prague, right?
Okay, cultural activities are another really big pillar of our programs. We feel that when you come and take classes, you also really need to experience the culture, and that's part of the reason why you're participating in the study abroad experience. So we absolutely build in a number of different cultural activities and that take the shape of many different forms of activities. So throughout orientation, you get an overview of the culture and the language right off the bat so that you can say hello, goodbye, kind of have some of those emergency language skills and tour the city of Prague. And then for the fall and the spring programs, we've partnered with Charles University to do a week-long extended orientation where it's more of a Czech language and culture immersion program. And for those semesters, since you are considered a Charles University student, that allows you to have access to all of the Charles University resources, like their library, any of their student organizations, their cafeteria dining hall, which allows you to be able to meet more Czech students or international students or local students that are attending Charles University as well. Czech cooking classes are another really, really popular thing that our students love to do. These are free for you. You don't have to pay anything extra, and they're non-credit courses. And the objective of those is really to teach you more about the culture through food, and to get you to experience cooking and also eating a nice meal, right? And so I'm sure some of our students will tell you about those experiences, but those are really, really popular. All of our students love the Czech cooking classes. And excursions as well. We typically take every group on a 2-night or 3-day long excursion outside of Prague to another location in the Czech Republic. And that allows you to see another part of the country where you might not normally see. And they're typically, Český Krumlov is one example where you see the rafting. And those are really fun excursions, but you get to experience a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and they're at the beginning of the program, so you get to bond with your classmates and kind of get over jet lag and get really ready and refreshed to start your classes at NC State Prague the following week. So we'd love to hear from the students more about what cultural excursions or cooking classes or activities that you did while you were participating in the program.
Yes, I would like to ask Natasha to start to tell us more about the activities that you've participated in.
Yeah, so I would say the cultural activities were really helpful to be immersed in the environment and immersed in the Czech Republic and not feel as much of a tourist, and just learn a lot about the history and the culture and the food. I would highly recommend the cooking classes, even if you're not a big fan of cooking. I believe I went to about 3 or 4 of them, and it was always a fun time. And one of my friends actually got to recreate one of the things that we made back here in Raleigh. So it allows you to just have different traditional meals like in the back of your mind, and it's really fun. And I would also say the Český Krumlov excursion was a really good introduction to just learn more about the Czech Republic and get away for a couple of days, and that really built like the strength of our study abroad group, I would say. And then some of the other cultural activities that we were able to do, my group, we went to an opera, which was really fun. Couldn't understand it fully, but just like the visuals and everything was really cool to see. And any cultural activity that you get to be a part of just really expands your knowledge and your love for Prague.
Great, thank you so much. And now, Andy, if you would like to jump in and share some of your experience.
Yeah, of course. I agree with everything that Natasha said. I was in Prague at the same time as her, so I got to take part in all the same activities, going to Český Krumlov, and that was actually my birthday weekend. So getting to kind of get acclimated to the group that we were with, and celebrate my birthday, and be in this new place was super exciting. I completely agree about the cooking classes. I think I did either 2 or 3 of them, and even looking back now, I kind of wish that I did more while I was there. I think you're definitely going to be kind of exhausted, and maybe it's difficult to be in a new place, but making the most of your time there, going out and doing these excursions or taking part in these cooking classes is going to be really important. It's going to change the experience entirely. So definitely try to do these if you can. They change the entire experience, and they're just so worth it.
And maybe Ali, as you participated in some of the other trips and excursions that we took, to Lidice and somewhere else. In Kutná Hora, sorry, I couldn't remember right now, and it's the city in Czech Republic. If you want to share something about that.
So we went to Kutná Hora, and that was another really, really fun trip. It was kind of very cold, and but it was very memorable, and you just learn so much about everyday Czech life, kind of, I guess is a good way to put it. And yes, you're going to all these places, but you're also constantly, when you go on these trips, you're constantly living in with like with the cultural like society, and you're like immersed in them. And I just, yeah, I don't know what my point was, but they were very good experiences and helped me bond with my other study abroad friends, and yeah, people that I'll remember forever, you know.
Thank you so much. Sorry to put you in the spot for those two places. If anyone feel like Kaylin, if you want to add something.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will say one of my favorite cultural activities that we did was going to a hockey game. That was so much fun. And even if you're not into hockey, like there were people who went, they were just like, I'm not into hockey, but I don't really, like, you know, I just want to get immersed. It was so much fun, and it's so different from how we do hockey in the United States. So there's all these opportunities to really get involved in the culture, and they're all so much fun. And even if you think like, I don't know, like maybe this isn't really my style, like I would highly, highly recommend going to a hockey game or going to the opera or participating in a scavenger hunt of Prague. That was a really awesome way for us to get to know the city. And it was so much fun. We were split into groups and we were just running around Prague like crazy people. At one point we stopped at a tram stop because we had to take a selfie with ice cream and get as many people as we could in it. So we were all at a tram stop, and my friend said, say, like, smile, and all these people turned and were like, and so we took a selfie and ran. Like, there's so many amazing memories from things that you don't really like plan. You don't know how things are going to go, but you just get all of your friends together and you're like, all right, let's do this, like, let's have some fun. So I would highly recommend any and all cultural activities.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, student housing. If you decide to participate in NC State Prague, we take care of the housing for you, and NC State rents a building that is just for housing NC State students who are participating in our program. So you can see a picture of the building right there. It is in a residential area of Prague. So you can either hop on the tram stop that's right outside the door of your housing building and get to NC State Prague for your classes in about 15 minutes, or it's a great walk as well. It will take you about 20-25 minutes to walk there. Very, very walkable city, very, very safe. And so if it's nice weather, then definitely you can walk there. We have Wi-Fi obviously at the building, and bedding is included. A lot of people ask if they need to pack, sheets and pillows and stuff like that. And no, you don't. We provide that. Everybody has access to a kitchen. The rooms are in some different formats, but everybody has access to a kitchen, whether it's in your actual room or shared down the hall with your hallmates. We do have laundry there. It is coin operated, so you would have to plan on paying a little bit extra for your laundry. But yeah, I mean, it's a great building. It was recently updated right before the students that you heard from came in last fall, I think it was. So coming up on a year now. It's very, very safe. We have a desk, and only you would be able to access the building, and there's a security guard there that's there most of the time. And we also have some great local student housing assistants. There's one that lives on each floor, and I'm sure that some of the students will talk about them, but this is another phenomenal resource. These are local students who attend universities, not at NC State, but they attend Charles University or Czech University of Life Sciences, go to school in Prague, and they're really there to help you get you more embedded into the culture, show you where to buy toilet paper, where to buy the best cup of coffee, how to get involved in the local area in a more in-depth way. We have a number of different formats for the room. We have single rooms, we have double rooms, and we work with you. You're able to indicate your preferences throughout the application process, and then we place you in a room. So you can certainly let us know if there's a roommate that's coming on the program with you. More often than not, we can definitely place you with your preferred roommate. This is the only slide that we have here, but I would definitely encourage you to go to the website on housing. There are some really great 360 images, so you can really take a virtual tour of the building so you can see what a room would look like. And then we are going to ask, again, the students to share their experiences, because it's the same exact building.
Yes, and I would like to start with Andy. If you can tell us more about the housing, how was it for you, and maybe also about the neighborhood.
Yeah, so truly I have nothing bad to say about the student housing. It was incredible just like living with all the other students in the program and having this kind of like safe place to go back to after like exhausting days of just like all this like new like stimuli like coming in at you. So I was lucky enough to have a private room, which is really great because I had my own little kitchen in there. But even then, I found myself like on the different floors at nighttime, like seeing what everybody else was cooking and kind of just like interacting with all the other students and like talking about the things that we had gotten up to like during our days. The neighborhood is wonderful. There are so many like wonderful little grocery stores like on the street, and then like the tram stop is like right there. So it's really super simple. If you like wake up late and you have to get to class, you can just like run out and like catch the tram and make it in time. So like nothing to really worry about there. Never felt unsafe. It's such like a wonderful area, and like the Czech Republic itself is like very safe. What else? Oh, and the housing assistants. The housing assistants were like incredible as well. I remember like getting sick one time, and they were just like very like caring, and like they brought me medicine and like tea and all these like wonderful things that made me feel like so at home and so loved and like cared for. So truly an amazing experience, and also just like very beautiful building. So it was great.
Thank you for sharing that. Natasha, maybe would you like to add something else or your experience?
Yeah, I would just say that it's really nice to just be all in the same like living area as everyone else studying abroad. It was really fun to just cook meals together. It could get wild sometimes all being in the same kitchen, but those were like really great memories. And there's a lounge in the facility, and just watching like The Bachelor together was really fun. And yeah, just hopping to other people's rooms and getting to know one another better was really fun. And yeah, I echo everything what Andy said about safety. I felt very safe there. And yeah, there's a lot around. There's a paper store and a corner store and a coffee shop and the grocery up the hill. And yeah, just a really good, convenient place to be. And again, yeah, the housing assistants, be friends with them. They love to help you out. And I still talk to Dina. She's so nice. But yeah, just a really good place to be. And yeah, nothing bad to say at all. It's a good step up from NC State dorms. And I guess a pro tip would be to bring like little posters and stuff, because there's bulletin boards in the rooms, and those definitely made it feel more like home to just put and pin up things. And even things that I got throughout my time in Europe, it was nice to like pin those up on the wall, on the bulletin board. But yeah.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. Anyone else would like to add something we haven't said yet?
Yeah, so one thing that was really cool about my situation was that I was a freshman and I kind of got integrated because of housing with like other programs. And I thought it was really cool that every different level of like age or grade or whatever, we were all kind of on different floors. And so I met a lot of like my really, really close friends that I have now just because of the fact that like they were nearby me in housing, and we would cook together, and like I got to meet them. And they do have like excursions and stuff that we could like mingle with them a little bit more. But I think definitely being in one place with them and just kind of like putting yourself out there gave me the opportunity to meet like some of my best friends now, and we had so many great memories in that building.
Yeah, I just definitely want to second that. I have some really great friends. Like my floor all got super close, and we got super close to our housing assistant. He was awesome. And so we all just got really close, and we would just have like floor like cooking nights where we would all just like make dinner, or if like somebody was making dinner, eventually everyone would just kind of like flood out of their little rooms and come hang out in the kitchen. And so it was a lot of fun and really helped you get to know the people. There's some really awesome like restaurants. There's really awesome places around Zytrom that you can go to, and they're all within walking distance. So I have a lot of memories of like me and my friends just like bundling up and being like, okay, let's go try this place, like marching our way out of Zytrom and having a lot of fun. So would highly recommend.
Thank you so much, everybody. And I know, Kaylin, you said in the chat to bring towels, and that is a really good point. So we do a very extensive pre-departure orientation where we do cover packing. I know a lot of people are really, curious about what to pack and do I pack towels and all this stuff. So we've got you covered. We just had about an hour last week where we cover all those logistics and packing things. Throughout the whole process. Okay, a couple more logistics, and then you will hear a lot more from our student panel. We have some other questions they can share even more with you about the program. But costs and fees, this is just a screenshot from our website, which is the link at the bottom of this slide. So if you go to the cost and funding page, you can see the breakdown of fees for every single program that we offer. And then there is a link to the budget sheet in there for every single one as well. So it's a pretty similar format. All of the summer programs, the admin fee is a little bit less. It will be $350. And the admin fee is basically what you pay when you submit your application. And then you pay the remaining balance after, you pay it through MyPack portal, just like you pay your regular tuition and fees. So the process is the same. You can use your financial aid to pay the remaining balance. And we also provide you with some resources for the Office of Scholarships and Financial Aid so that you can look up your specific situation and figure out exactly what financial aid, or if you have any existing scholarships or grants, and what that would cover. But you can apply that to this program balance. And we're going to talk about what everything includes and what it doesn't include. Again, this information is all on the website as well, but certainly your program fee includes your tuition and fees for all of the courses. So that is full-time. So in the summer, full-time is 6 credit hours. In the fall and spring, it's 12 credit hours, or you can take a few more classes if you want for the same fee. We include international health insurance on all of our programs, and also teach you how to find a doctor. We actually even find doctors for you, so you don't even really have to look, that speak English and also accept our insurance when you're in Prague. The accommodations, the housing that we talked about, that's completely included, as well as excursions. So we typically include an excursion within the Czech Republic on every single program, fall, spring, and summer. And if COVID allows, for the fall and the spring semester, we will include an additional weekend excursion outside of the Czech Republic. So for example, Berlin in Germany is one of the places where we typically take students. We try to include as many other additional cultural events like the hockey game that was mentioned, or operas, whatever's going on in the city at that time. We try to include as much of those as possible because we feel like it's really, really important for your experience overall. Of course, orientation is included, and also you have access to this 24/7 emergency phone number, which goes to our staff in Prague. So that's a really great feeling that if you're in a foreign country and you do get sick or have an emergency, which knock on wood, hopefully doesn't happen. If it does, you call our team in Prague, they're right there. More often than not, they will go with you to the hospital or to the doctor and help translate and just be there as an additional layer of support. Another really great thing, so Wi-Fi of course is included. Another great thing that's really valuable is this in-city travel pass. So upon your arrival in Prague, we give you a card. It's kind of like your driver's license for the whole time that you're there, but it allows you to hop on and hop off every single tram, metro, and bus within Prague city limits. And so this is something that you will use every day, multiple times a day, and it's really, really convenient. The big things that are not included in the program fee are going to be your airfare to get you from the US to Europe. Meals, we do throw in some meals, especially during orientation when you're still learning the lay of the land and how to go to the grocery store, which is a whole nother experience, and how to eat out in Prague. But for the most part, we do not have a dining hall in Prague like we do here on campus, so you will have to budget for your own meals. We always add supplies and textbooks and those things when we talk about this, but really most of the instructors print out the materials and the readings and give them to you. So maybe the design students have other experiences, but for the most part, the supplies and textbooks are going to be really, really minimal in Prague. And then passport, you do have a passport to enter, and for the fall and the spring programs, you do have to have a visa as well, which is an additional fee. And for anybody who's listening or paying attention today or watching this, just so you know, you can definitely feel free to ask any questions that you have at all about this, and our staff is happy to help you, or we can also refer you to the Office of Scholarships and Financial Aid to drill down more with that kind of details. Okay, application deadlines. Okay, so you won't see any years here because the application deadlines for the programs are pretty much always going to be the same, regardless of what date that they fall on. So the next, the programs that we're recruiting for right now are summer or fall. Both of those applications are open and live or accepting applications. Summer deadline is February 15th and the fall deadline is February 1st. It's a little wonky. You would think that the fall deadline would come first before the summer deadline. But the reason for that is visas, because if you're applying for the fall program, then we do have to get you a visa. So that process takes a bit of time. And so we need you to apply by February 1st. The spring application deadline is going to be September 15th always. That program is for the deadline has been passed for the spring 2021. And you will see that spring 2022, I guess it will be, launched in a couple of months. But again, you can expect to apply for that program next fall if you're thinking about a spring program. One thing that I do want to mention for the summer program is that our summer program tends to fill up very, very quickly. The expectation is that if you're successful on campus in Raleigh, that you will also be successful in Prague. So we try to accept everybody that we can, as long as you meet the minimum 3.0 GPA for summer programs. And if you do not have a student conduct record, then we do want you to be able to go to Prague as well. That being said, the only thing that we really have to differentiate you from other applicants is how quickly you apply. So it is first come, first serve, and we review the applications when we get them in. So if you're interested in a summer program, I do recommend that you apply early and as soon as possible. We already do have quite a few applicants for the summer 2021 program. Scholarships. There are scholarships available for every single one of these programs. And the Study Abroad Office, you can see the URL right there. Study Abroad Office manages those scholarship applications. And it's a really great streamlined process where you have to fill out one scholarship application. And then that opens you up to about 20 to 30 different funding opportunities available. So I encourage every single student to apply for scholarships, because if you don't, then you don't get any money, right? But if you do apply for it, the most things that you have to lose is no money. So don't have anything to lose. Please apply for a scholarship if you're planning on studying abroad anywhere. Okay, we are going to turn it over to our student panel, where we have several questions for them to cover, so you get a better idea of the program. And then again, anybody participating, you are more than welcome to send some questions through the chat if you have something else that you'd like to hear from our student panel.
All right, so I will just take over to be moderator and ask the questions to our great alumni. Again, thank you so much, guys, that you could be here today. Let me start with the question. If you were deciding for more programs or between more programs to study abroad, why did you in the end choose to study at NC State Prague? And I would like to start with Ali, maybe.
Yeah, so I kind of found that this is like an option for me whenever I was only accepted for the spring semester. And I immediately knew I wanted to be part of NC State. And so I figured, hey, why not give this a shot? Maybe I'll get in. And I did. And so I think it helped me like get into NC State, and it was an amazing program. So I don't know if I'm necessarily the best option, because it was kind of one of my only choices. But it was great. And I'm so glad I got to do it. Like it literally, oh yes.
Thank you. And Andy, if you can share your decision.
Yeah, so I actually wasn't planning on studying abroad at all. It is required by the design school for us to have like international experience, and that does not mean that we have to go to Prague, but it just means that we have to study abroad. I had the opportunity to visit a friend who was studying abroad during spring break the year before, and I kind of just like instantly fell in love with being in Prague. And also like it's like such a big design school thing that there are like so many wonderful stories, and the program just kind of like stood out after going to like information sessions and like hearing about other people talk about the program. Um, so yeah, also like Prague is kind of just like centralized in a lot of ways, so it makes it like easy to go from place to place. But yeah, that's me.
Thank you so much. So the second question is, what was the one thing that like you were the most surprised about the study abroad program here at NC State Prague? I'll start with Natasha this time.
Okay, so the thing I would say that surprised me the most is just how many new experiences you get to have and how many new things you get to learn and try. I didn't really have any knowledge of the Czech Republic or Prague coming in, and so learning about the history and the language was just such a new thing. But it was really fun, and yeah, just all the new experiences. Coming back home and telling my friends and family all the new things that I've gotten to learn and experience, and things that I never thought I would be able to do or see or learn was really cool.
Thank you. Kaylin?
So I was really surprised at how easy it was to like connect with all the other students. I had no idea that NC State Prague was like really tailored towards graphic design until I walked into the info session, and Sean looks at me and he goes, "So you're a graphic design student, right?" And I was like, "No, sir, I like dogs. Sorry." And so I was really nervous. I only knew one person going in, but it was so easy to connect with everyone, all the students there, the housing assistants, the staff. Everyone was so welcoming, and they were so willing to help you. And I was also really happy to see that traveling around Europe is really easy. And so that made me really happy because I was very nervous about traveling around Europe. It was super easy and it was a lot of fun.
Great. And maybe Ali, if I can ask again you, what was the most surprising thing during the fall?
Yeah, I think I was genuinely surprised at how well organized it was, because when we went, we had the info session in the beginning and kind of like learned a little bit about it, and I think I just didn't know like what it would be like, so it was really hard to like hear what they were saying and like picture it. So then when I got there, they had like everything planned out for us. We had days where like our entire schedule was planned for us, and it was like info sessions, or we would have like travel plans, and everything was done for you, which was really nice, and it helped you like build a foundation to live on your own there. So I was really impressed with how organized it was.
Great, thank you so much. We spoke about that learning is not only, or like study abroad is not about learning in classrooms, but also learning outside. How you personally learn about the culture while you were here? Andy?
Yeah, so I would kind of just like get on the tram and just like keep going, and like not I would kind of just like get lost, I guess. I mean, like take the tram wherever it took me and then find my way back home. So kind of did like a lot of individual like self-exploring, and like that kind of got me acclimated to just like the culture by like walking around places that I wouldn't normally go by. I think also like trying to meet people like within the Czech Republic as well. We went to so many different events. We went to like art events and like other things that allowed us to like meet other people, and so like getting to talk to them about their experience. I like met some people who were studying abroad from like Ireland, or who were like locals who were studying at like local universities, and just like getting to hear their experiences and the things that they've been doing in Prague was like really helpful, and kind of getting acclimated and like learning outside of the classroom.
Thank you. Natasha, would you like to add something, or how was like your way about learning about culture in practice?
Yeah, I would agree with what Andy said, just like getting on the tram and going and kind of getting outside of the bubble of Zytrum and NC State Prague. I got to just go to the different like areas and districts of Prague, and getting lost in Prague is actually really fun. Like getting lost in America kind of would be a little bit more scary, but yeah, just getting lost in Prague, like you stumble upon different restaurants, different like museums and different things that you would never expect, and that's a really cool experience. And then also with our classes being very immersive. I know with our design history class, we would literally go out into the city and learn about the buildings and get like in person, like live, like information about the architecture and everything. So I think that was also a really cool opportunity to just be so immersive and not be afraid to just get out of your comfort zone a little bit, because you will learn a lot.
Thank you so much for sharing. Kaylin, do you have anything else that like what was your favorite way about learning about new culture?
Yeah, so I really liked to like take my study time, or like I was applying to vet school while I was in Prague, and so I really like to take time and find somewhere in Prague and just kind of explore and find somewhere quiet and like sit down and work for a little bit. So I just like to like find those little like nooks like that I could go and work in. I also really tried to force myself to like use the Czech language and like make myself more comfortable talking with the locals, because they respect you a lot more if you even have like the slightest knowledge of the Czech language. I really didn't want to be like, oh, like that tourist. So I really tried to like use the Czech language and interact with some people. I went to like this market and talked to like a few different vendors about like how much stuff was costing and everything. So that was a lot of fun, and that really definitely helped me like kind of break out of my comfort zone, and people like respect me. So I appreciated that.
We really couldn't say it better. Basically, most of what you've said, guys, now is what we say also during the orientation. So thank you so much. It means that like it's actually true, and that's great to hear. um, Earlier, you've said or you've mentioned that you were surprised some of the things were kind of easier than you've expected. But on the other hand, what was the biggest challenge for you, and how did you overcome, or like how it happened that like you surpassed that? I'll start with Ali here.
Yeah, I think the first thing that comes to mind, which is pretty obvious, is the language barrier. It's the most challenging thing to overcome in my personal experience, and I'm sure the others can also agree. But I think if you take the Czech language in class, Czech language and culture class, it is probably the best thing for me personally, because I was able to learn while also being in the environment. And so I would take what I learned in the classroom and be able to use it like out and about. And like one of the things they taught was like, do you speak English? Which is like, mluvíte anglicky. And so I memorized that the night of and just went around and I would go by myself to a lot of places, and I would just go around and like ask everybody if they spoke English, and then a lot of times they would open up and talk to you more. But I think definitely the language barrier, and also for me, I cooked a lot. So going to the grocery store, it was a lot different than the setup out of an American grocery store. So I'd have to like really look for a long, long time. So grocery stores took a while just to like figure out where everything was. But once you kind of get in the groove of things, you learn a few words, it makes it a lot easier.
Thank you so much. Andy, if I may ask about some challenges for you.
Yeah, I would agree with both of those. I think whenever there's like a language barrier, I think you have to like approach things with confidence and kind of like give yourself room with knowing that you might not know everything and it might be like difficult sometimes. But if you like approach it with a certain amount of confidence and like know that you're gonna like learn things along the way, I think that like makes the experience a lot better. The grocery store as well was very difficult for me. I remember spending like 25 minutes looking for salt and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I also don't think I had like data on my phone, so I couldn't look up the translation at the time. So I was kind of just like walking around the grocery store for a long time looking for salt, which you wouldn't really imagine would be like a challenging thing, but it was. And then I think like homesickness is like something that I kind of dealt with a little bit more than I thought I would have. It was nice to be around like a big group of people, but then also like making time to do things that remind you of home. Like we did bachelor nights where we would just like watch The Bachelor with a big like projector in the common room, and that was really great. And then also like finding things that remind you of home. There's like a Southern restaurant a couple of blocks away from where we lived, so I think I went there maybe 2 or 3 times and just like drank a lot of sweet tea and had like Southern breakfast. and that helped like cure that little bit of homesickness that I felt.
Thank you so much. And Natasha, some of your challenges, if you may just like add on something.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. My first grocery store experience was wild, and we couldn't figure out what the cashier was trying to communicate with us. So that's like very memorable, just navigating that. But it does get easier along the way. And like our last week in Prague, like I remember just going in and out to the grocery store and just remembering how tough it was at the beginning and how like far we've come to like learn how things work. And I think also being a design student and having projects where we needed certain resources and trying to navigate that, like where's the best place to find paper to make this project. And I did find a paper store that I really liked, and I actually got to have a few like brief conversations with the lady in Czech, and that was like a highlight, just going to that paper store. And so yeah, I think another challenge would just be planning when you're traveling or just wanting to do things with other people. And it's really good to have friends around and want to do a lot of fun things, but it's also hard to navigate, okay, like the logistics of planning and how to travel well with people. So I would say that was another challenge, but it was easy to overcome because everyone that we were with was very graceful and just wanted to have a good time, and yeah, have little conflicts. So yeah.
Thank you so much. I guess we will have the last question because like we're slowly going to the end of our hour together today. If you may, or like when you look back for your semester or somehow shortened semester because COVID, right? What was the biggest accomplishment and what are you the most proud about that you've done or like you handled well, etc. Natasha again?
Yeah, all the memories, yeah, have just stayed with me. I guess especially since we had to come back earlier. It was definitely hard and challenging to come back and thinking of all the things that could have been. But one of my, I guess, proudest accomplishments was just documenting everything. I would say keep a journal, always have your phone handy to take pictures, and I was able to create some travel videos, and whenever I'm sad I just watch those and like relive all the highlights of Prague. But yeah, just remembering to document and remembering to just appreciate every moment and like be present, because it does go by really quickly. But yeah.
That sounds really like a great tip for the future students. Kaylin, if I may ask you.
Yeah, honestly, one of my favorite things, like one of my biggest accomplishments was just finding like a really awesome group of close friends that I had in Prague. And then now that we're back from Prague, like we still have like our little like family dinners and we still catch up and stay really close to each other. So that, especially because our semester ended so suddenly, that has helped me kind of like stick with the people, and we all had kind of the same mindset. And I know I'm not the only one who just sits and misses Prague so much. And we can like reflect on just some awesome memories that we've had, and we can like text each other and be like, you know, I was just making like the mushroom soup that we learned to make in the cooking class, and we can just reflect on all those memories. And so that's really awesome for me.
Thank you so much. Ali, if I may ask you.
So like I said, I went my freshman year fall semester. So I think my biggest accomplishment was definitely independence, like big time. I did everything on my own, like cooked for myself, had to go to the grocery store by myself, went to class by myself. Like it was like traveled by myself sometimes, but I grew so much out of that. And also I think I gained more of an appreciation for different places. I know that was probably just like being there and seeing like what everybody went through. It kind of, I reflected a lot on my life and was like, man, like I am so blessed. And I think, yeah, I definitely gained so much independence and like knowledge about myself that I would have never done maybe on campus, which I don't know, but I think it was a surreal experience that you can't really get anywhere else unless you do this.
And I do believe that this question deserves the full round. So if I may ask Andy as well to jump in and say his accomplishment.
Yeah, I would agree with everything that's kind of been said. I think like making a good friend group and like having that support system there and like supporting each other through all of the like events that went on. I think like dealing with the pandemic from like being in a different country, like not freaking out, and kind of just like staying very grounded in that was like a good accomplishment. I also am like a big I really like independence as well. And so like I made the time to travel by myself and like go to a different country and like do that. So that was like a great experience for me. I know some people don't feel comfortable doing that, but if that's something that you're kind of like wanting to do, I say definitely go for it. You learn so much about yourself, but by just like being somewhere that you've never been and kind of just like exploring that by yourself and doing the things that you want to do. So I think that was definitely a big accomplishment. And then lastly, just like making Prague feel like home. It kind of sucks that we had to leave whenever things kind of felt super comfortable in a way, but like having a routine and having those places that felt very homey to you, I think that was a big accomplishment because it is so different from North Carolina, which is like where I've been living for all of my life. So living in a different place, feeling like it's home and like being very comfortable there, I think was a large accomplishment.
Thank you so much for all the answers and everything that you've shared with our future students. And again, like Prague is here for you as well. So once everything gets better, just like, you know, don't wait a minute. You can always come back and we will be happy to see you here again.
Maybe we'll do an alumni event.
Right?
Okay, thank you so much to our panel. That does conclude our information session. If you have questions, we're happy to answer them in the chat, or if anybody feels brave enough to unmute yourself and ask questions, you're welcome to do that way. But before you go, I would encourage you to follow us on social media. You'll get a really awesome picture of what happens in Prague on both Instagram and Facebook. And we do have a Instagram live event coming up next week with a virtual tour of NC State Prague. So I'd encourage you to join that. It's next Tuesday the 8th or Wednesday the 18th, Anael, right? Okay, Wednesday the 18th. Okay. And our website and our email, this is the best email to reach all of us. So if anybody has any questions, we are happy to take those. Otherwise, thank you to our panelists for joining, and we hope everybody has a great rest of your semester and rest of your week.
Yeah, thanks guys for joining. It's good to see you.
Yeah, I guess that's no question, not yet. All right, guys, you know where to find us. We will be also sharing the video and the presentation. So if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to get back to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Ahoy. Ahoy.